Tom PJ's been running the Kansas City offense, and he needs more pass plays. What do you have for him? Let's take a look at this playbook in depth. Gibbs, is this your number one playbook at the moment, the Kansas City Chiefs, in all of Madden?
This is the number one playbook in the entire game. Much balance in this set. You have unique formations, you have power runs, you have power passing formations. So there's a lot that you can do. So right here, Singleback Jumbo Pair, a formation that you don't find in a ton of different books, right? That's one thing that's unique about it. I-form, you can drop down and play a normal balanced offensive scheme, but then you can play a power run scheme with I-form tight pair. We have arguably the best formation added into Madden this year, the near close. This is one of my favorite formations in the game. This is a play that we've broken down in the trust, and this is something that is a absolute game changer to have in your offense. It's only in 2 books, KC and the Eagles. You guys have seen on the streams, a ton of streams so far. You've seen how we use it, so you should be no surprise to you how we run and use this formation. Then strong formation if you want to play more balanced. Get into some pistol sets. So if you want to run a read option scheme, you can. There is a power option in this book. There is a triple option in this book.
Ooh.
So you can do just about everything. We even have a wildcat in this playbook. Take a look at even a next level style scheme, gun split close or a gun split slot. You have a shovel option. So now you can even run a different style, a completely different style approach. You can run almost a college offense with this entire book with shovel options, power options, triple options.
How's that have that gut?
Very good, very good.
It looks kind of.
It's a good run.
Yes, it's not in every book.
It's not the quick audible, but you know it is serviceable. And then you take a look at some of the other formations. Gun doubles, one of the better balanced formations in the game. PA shot divide. You know how effective that play is. You also have the play from this formation, Z spot, which is a very effective play with that table route, the tight end corner. It's very similar to it's a Y sail concept. Breaking down the formation even further. You have gun wide trips weak formation, so you can run inside zones. You have 4 verticals out of this, and you also have a hidden 4 verticals play that I absolutely love from this formation. Right here, 4 verticals. Doesn't look special, but that blue route, that release route, that's a dragon route. So that is one of the best routes in the game, coming from 4 verticals. Very difficult to stop. This gun wide trips weak, a very unique formation. A lot of different plays that attack man-to-man. KC slot cross. We'll break this down eventually, but a play right here that has 2 of the best man-beating routes in the entire game from the tight end and the slot receiver. And once again, take a look at that halfback route, dragon route, dragon route. So a lot of good plays from this KC book, and that's not even to get to the power formations that you use offensively from it. You got gun trips tight end, you got gun trio offset weak with the halfback to the left, and then my favorite formations in the game, gun bunch weak.
A classic.
Classic. If just for fun, a gun bunch open. Right? That's kind of fun. And then my favorite formation right now currently in the game, the gun bunch.
You've been using this quite a bit?
I live in this. I live in this.
Give us a little mini scheme from one of your formations. So we've gone through all the big formations. Give us a little mini scheme from one of these ones you've gone through.
Sure. I'm actually going to I'm gonna give you 2 bonus mini schemes. I'm gonna give you 2. I'm gonna get you into 2 bonus mini schemes here tonight.
And there's also near close in the Brain Trust after the show.
So gun wide trips weak. You can see this is a more of a passing formation. We're going to give you the Singleback Jumbo Pair as more of a running formation.
Yep.
But Singleback or gun wide trips weak. The play I like to come out in here is the KC slot cross. So for me, falls come out in a your cover 2 man, dollar cover 2 man. What you'd like to do?
Never heard of it.
Dollar cover 2. But in this instance, cover 2 man. So what I like to do here is I like to place the far right receiver. I put him on a quick in. So now I have 3 routes on the right side of the field. They're all going to get free release on press. And all these routes really do a great job at beating man-to-man on a consistent basis. So step 1 of this entire offensive scheme has been accomplished. I need to be able to effectively beat man-to-man when called upon from any formation I have if I expect to have a successful offense. Right? You have to be able to beat it when called upon. So snap of the ball, I can look to dump the ball off to Travis Kelce in the flat, and you can see how much separation you get from him at the tight end position. So
he's already on that route.
He's on the drag. So the only adjustment you need to make is put the far right receiver on an in.
So it's quick.
It's really quick. Now you can take a look at the slot receiver. That's a rarely unique crossing pattern right there. You need to have a guy with good acceleration, agility, and catching traffic in this role, and good route running. He'll get more separation. But again, snap of the ball. Watch this route. He gets the free release. He cuts inside, and then bang, right there. It's a very successful route. Again, you got to watch out for users over the middle of the field. That's a very pickable route if you're not careful. But your other routes on this play will get them to bite down and open that route up. Now the last route here is the far right route. Again, you need route running and speed here to get the separation. So he'll get the release inside, and that's just your like bailout. Like they're gonna jump to the drag. They're gonna go.
Yeah, they're gonna play the first two.
Yep.
For sure. I would definitely.
If all else fails, then you check down to your halfback as your last read. Again, a lot of speed in that route is going to help you be able to effectively beat the man-to-man coverage.
If they bring the safety down, you could always go downfield to Macklin on the left-hand side one-on-one.
And as you notice, guess what happens again?
No press.
No press on that
That's
route.
big.
So you have 5 routes on this play that you're not going to be pressed on. So snap of the ball, like you said, if they get greedy, they bring up the safety in the box.
Yeah, they've had enough of these underneath routes.
You put your fast receiver there, you chuck it deep, you rack that all on the floor, rack that until you score, Farls. This is one of the best plays in the game to beat man-to-man. So, I caveat that with that we also have 4 verticals from this play.
Okay.
So, this is a very unique 4 verticals in the fact that the Travis Kelce route, because he's on the line of scrimmage this way, he does actually get an inside positioning against man-to-man on a pretty consistent basis. So it makes it a lot easier to be able to target him. You know, this route doesn't beat man-to-man that well this year, but it's pretty effective from this formation. The only adjustment I make again is I put the far receiver on an in, and I look for the slot receiver Thomas as like a seam buster against zones. That's why I like it there in case my read's wrong. So here you have it again, Travis Kelce. See how he's inside right there? So I always possession catch that.
Okay.
Possession it because that's not going to allow the defender to get cut inside and get an animation. And I'll show you what I mean by that right here. So snap of the ball. I'm going to throw this and try and get greedy, okay? Right here. So the defender, oftentimes he didn't there, but the defender has an opportunity to jump in front and cut that off.
Right.
If I try and get greedy, if I go to a rack or something. But if I go ahead and just possession this right here, when he makes his cut right there, like now, I'm just falling to the ground. I'm catching it and I'm falling to the ground. I want 10 yards, 15 yards, and that's it. And then what I really love about this play, again, you have a deep breaking in on the far right by your outside receiver. But the route that makes this whole thing really devastating is the halfback who actually stayed in and blocked that time. But when he releases, if your opponent's not blitzing, he will release out of the backfield here, and watch how he just on that drag route. See you later. I mean, good luck. Good luck having to defend that. It's actually a really effective scheme, this release dragon route. Those are 2 really great plays to use. You also have inside zone. So if your opponent does have only 3 guys on the line, you're actually going to be able to run the ball really effectively from this inside zone. Inside zones, people are kind of sleeping on them still. They're still very effective against the right front.
In previous seasons, they've slowed down certain runs like the strong power. They didn't really change a ton about the inside zone. I think just the gap play is better.
Yes, it is.
And that's kind of what. But the handoff's not that much slower. Maybe you can't cut quite as much.
No, you can't.
But it's still. Yeah,
like he's not as quick to cut, but
it's still.
You can still. It's still a really good run.
Yeah.
I still think it's the second best run in the game behind quick bases.
Yeah.
So you still have this run to check to as your quick audible down, and then if they do go to the zone coverage, I love having this play PA wide receiver in. Not only do I love it because you get to tender areas on the field, but I love it because you have a Z spot hidden post just nestled away in the formation for you. Right there, that Wilson's not the guy. You need a tall target, and you need the right coverage against it. But you have one of those pre-baked in to kind of feel good about it.
If you need to throw.
If you need to throw. You need to throw.
You need
like
12.
It's like baked in, right? Like, and again, Wilson's not the guy, even though he's coming down with it. He's not the guy, but a really effective route to get to a tender part of the field. This is a great passing set. This is a great passing set. Very underutilized. It gives you a lot of different things you can do.
You can always block the tight end if you need more protection.
Yep.
You know?
And a bonus scheme. This is the Singleback Jumbo Pair. This is I would look at this as more of a running formation, right? So we just gave you a more passing formation. You should look to pass first, run second. Singleback Jumbo Pair. This is a running formation.
My
favorite fruit formation. You look at coming out in the play, halfback counter weak. That's the way we set this formation up. Come out in halfback counter weak.
I have nightmares about this formation.
So basically what I like to do is I read... I read the defense. And I say, okay, if I look at this, if I isolate the center and then I look at the guards and the tackles and I say, okay, I count the defenders, where do I have the advantage? If I look to the left here, I can see that there's 4 defenders in the box that are immediately to the left of the center. And I can see there's only 2 defenders to the right of the center. So I now know I do not have the advantage in the run game if I run left. So I'm in the counter. I would audible to the halfback dive, and then I would just follow my lead blockers and go. You have 3 tight ends off the right side of the field that are going to just make a wall for you.
Right.
Now, in this instance, you can see I only have 3 defenders on the left side of the field there. And I'm also going to get a pulling guard. So I'm going to have a hat on the hat in this instance. So I'm going to let the play happen. And then you can see we get the hat on the hat. I go, I run, I juke, and I try to make a play. So it's a really easy way to read the defense and determine, okay, where do I have the advantage? If you always have the advantage, I always recommend go to the counter. You're going to have a lot of success. You're going to make them have to put more defenders off that left side. So this time, Farrell's put more defenders over there.
I'll bring this guy down in here.
Yep.
You know, just try and mess it up.
And then I would want to run and look. I can cut this. I can cut that. You see how you can cut that off the edge and you turn it into an off tackle?
Oh, I see.
It's a very tough formation to defend. So now, as you're saying, if you would like to pass from this formation, you actually have a lot of good, successful plays available to you. So the quick audible to the right is called tight end drive. A dragon route hidden in about a 10-yard dragon route, Farrells. Also, a nice looking post route that you also have from your gun empty Browns formation to the B receiver.
Yep.
A drag to RB and a nice vertical on the outside. Depending on the situation, I'll leave the vertical. Sometimes I will drag the vertical like this, so I'll have double drag a mesh concept underneath. But this is really good, especially if you get man-to-man or if you just need to get a quick dump off in the flat. You just need a couple yards just to keep them honest. I primarily look to target, in this formation, I look to target the dragon route or I look to target the B route. B takes a little bit longer to develop, but that's the purpose of it, right? It gets to a tender part of the field. You can see it's very successful, especially when your opponent plays up in the box with the defenders.
Oh, yeah.
Now, go to man-to-man real quick for me. A lot of guys like to, I've noticed they play a lot of man, again, when I'm in under center formations. And when they do that, I have my dragon route, which I can just absolutely toast with Travis Kelce. He gets the separation, and then see you later, and jump over a guy. Bang! Woo. So a lot of success there with that play. Now, I also like to mix in play action from this to make it even more difficult for you to kind of really to see what am I doing. So, quick audible left, I like to fade the outside receiver Macklin, and then I like to take Harris, our far right tight end, the B receiver. I place him on a drag. So now it's kind of similar to the tight end post play, but I like the play action, and the A receiver gets to like a very deep part of the field that the other routes don't get to.
Beat deep on a touchdown. You have a pretty slow tight end, but yeah, you could hit that.
Right there, it gets behind the zone defense.
Yeah.
And what you'll notice is that when you run tight end drive, like, yes, the dragon route's really good, but if you're in zone, his route flattens off, and it's really easy for zones to do that.
Right.
So I don't love that dragon route against zone, but against zone, I love the PA play. So that's where, even though your routes are very similar, they have different purposes of how you're going to use them. And then again, you have the seam buster. So if they do get greedy with the deep safety, which a lot of people will, and you hit them enough with those halfback dives, and you hit them enough with the deep safety, you can hit them with the seam buster, and you can be sure that they're not going to do that again, right? So snap of the ball, here's the play fake, I can go deep, hit them in the seam buster, they're in trouble. Bang.
Crushing.
Two quick schemes for you out of the KC playbook. This is without a doubt, this is the single best playbook in the game. There are other formations and other playbooks you're going to find that you'll have success with. That doesn't mean that other playbooks aren't good or great. But I think there's so much balance in this playbook. There's so much that you can do. You're going to have so much success. I'm playing games all weekend long since the game has come out. I am running about 7 to 8 formations right now.
This is the formation that Mark Wildcat in the chat hit me with, and it was too much.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything. He played Will Sykes, beat him. I think he played the Mole.
Yep.
Gave him a super tough game. So this formation I do think is super tough.
I just want to quickly go over the formations that I actually do use so you can see them all. I use the Singleback Jumbo Pair.
Yep.
I use I-form tight pair. I use I-form twins flex. Then I use near close. That's 4 formations. Pistol. I use the pistol weak. Gun. I use gun split slot. I use the gun wide trips weak. Then I go over and I use the bunch weak. Then I use empty chief, and I use the bunch quads. So I use way more formations than I have in the past 2 years. Where especially last year. Last year's game was really I'm gonna stay in one formation all game. I'm gonna run 4 verticals in inside zone. And
hopefully, if they can stop me, they can stop me.
Right.
Yeah.
And this year's game, you need plays. You need plays. So